We'll start the prayer. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षोररिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We are studying Mandukya Upanishad, the third chapter called Advaita Prakaranam, and we are in the 35th verse. Totally, there are 48 verses in this chapter, a very important chapter from Advaitic Darshanam. Darshanam means a vision. We all have a vision of the world which is shown by the eyes and our sense organs. The Veda gives us a totally new vision. This is what we are trying to understand. What is that vision? How can I get that vision? Advaita means the subject I alone exists. Whatever we experience in the world is experienced, no doubt. It is Vyavaharika Satyam, but it is not Paramarthika Satyam. It is not absolute reality. That is what is the ultimate conclusion of Vedanta. With this brief introduction, I will go to the portion where we stopped last week, which is Karika number 35. We do a quick revision of the Bashyam of Karika 35 and then we proceed to 36 and 37. In this portion of this chapter, we are trying to understand the difference between Advaita experience in the sleep state and Advaita Jnanam, which is also Advaita. Advaita means what? There is no second thing. In sleep, I don't experience a second thing. In the ultimate knowledge given by Shastra, there is no second thing. So what is the difference between avastu and vastu? That is the portion we are studying now. The mind functions in two ways. In a Ajnani, it is called as ignorant mind. Ajnani means he is ignorant. Jnani means he is enlightened. So what is the difference between an ignorant mind and an enlightened mind is the topic. Now this topic is taken up in very big detail in 35, 36, 37, 38. These are 4 verses which goes to the depth of the mind. And then it teaches us how the mind becomes Brahman. Amani Bhava means Brahman or Turiya. Ignorant mind enters Maya, Karana Shariram, Bija Avastha, unmanifest state, Sushupti. These are all different names given to the same Karana Shariram. What the enlightened mind? Enlightened mind drops the Karana Shariram, goes further into Brahman, which is a Vastu, which is a reality. It is a restrained mind, niruddhasya mind, which can cross the unmanifest state. Normally speaking, we are only involved in the manifest portion of the mind, normally. Only when we come to Vedanta, we study that there is a condition of the mind which is unmanifest. That condition we call it as sleep. Now, a wise mind negates the observed world, which is grahyam, and also the observer. So, observer and observed, both grahyam and grahakam, both are dropped. Grahyam means experienced objects like mountains, rivers, in the waking state. Grahakam means experiencer, subject. Now, whenever there is duality, the Veda says it is mithya, whether it is dream or whether it is waking. For as far as the Veda is concerned, the vision of the Veda is concerned, or mithya. So, according to Veda, duality is an impurity. It is a dosha. And the basic dosha in duality is it causes fear. Always it causes fear. What will happen to me? What will happen to my relations, and so on. So, Bhagavad Upanishad, there's a very good mantra which I have quoted here, which says that wherever there is duality, there will be fear. And where there is no duality, there will be fearlessness. Fear is it is a representation of samsara. Now, fear can be of mortality, fear can be of jealousy, fear can come out of insecurity. All this is possible. So, duality, which is experientially available, is not there in the Turiya Avastha. The same thing which we have studied in Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter, 4 and 5. Mastani Sarva Bhutani. We have studied these two verses plenty of times. Shankaracharya quotes it again in this particular section. So when duality is falsified, normally what we will say, there is nothing. But then the Veda comes and says that when the duality is falsified, Turiyam Atma exists. That is where we have to make a difference between sleep state and enlightened mind. Mind will entertain thoughts of Dvaitam. It will perceive Dvaitam even after getting enlightened. So, Jnani's mind becomes Brahman means what? Jnani understands that mind is nothing but Brahman alone. Brahman means what? Consciousness. Emotions, thoughts, they are all what? Same Turiya Atma. So Shankaracharya is trying to build us up to the height of Vedanta. In the next two verses, you will get the height. Here he is only in the 35th verse. He is only giving us the preliminary ways of approaching the reality. Mind becomes Brahman. These are all the initial steps. In the next two verses, there is going to be a lot of revelations of Advaita Vedanta. Now, pot becomes clay or clay becomes pot is Dvaitam. Brahman becomes the world, Brahman becomes mind is Advaitam. Why? Because there is no pot other than clay. There is no mind other than Atma. See, we must understand beyond our mind, there is a adhishtanam, there is a substratum for the mind. Normally, we don't know this. Veda comes and says there is a substratum. That substratum is called as Turiyam. So, Ajnani and Jnani are compared in the sleep state. The sleep state, Advaitam is experienced by Jnani. In the sleep state, ignorance is experienced by Ajnani. He says, I don't know anything about the world. What does the Jnani says? All the movies of the Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti has ended, and I alone am there. And in me there is nothing, there is no world. Therefore, there is no bhayam. Dakshinamurti Stotram is again quoted many, many times to say that world is mithya. Whoever knows this Brahman is free from fear. He is not afraid of anatma creation. See, normally we say Sanchita Karma, Prarabdha Karma, all that for junior students. But the moment you come to Turiya Atma, you have to negate all the karmas and say that there is no karma at all at the highest level. So at the highest level, there is no question of why I have not done good, why I have committed sin. Nothing is there because Jnani has negated the entire anatma, including punyam and papa. So in that state, bhavaroga nivritti takes place. I am never affected by any material, any event in the material world. This is the realization of a jnani. And then this mantra of Taittiriya Upanishad, which comes 2 times in Taittiriya Upanishad, which says that this reality cannot be known by words, cannot be grasped by the mind, but through the Veda Pramanam, I understand this Turiya Avastha, Turiya Vastu. Sushupti is Avastha, but Turiyam is Vastu. We are trying to make a difference between Avastha and Vastu, which I started last week itself. Normally, Jnanam means Vritti Jnanam. We are all used to Vritti Jnanam. But Vritti Jnanam, when it stops, where does it end? When Vritti Jnanam stops, it ends in Swarupa Jnanam. That Swarupa Jnanam is called as Chaitanyam or Atma. So there is difference between Chit and Chidabhasa. Many times people ask this question, what is Chidabhasa? Chit is original consciousness, which is all pervading. It is invisible. And that same consciousness, it is there in the world as existence, in the non-living objects in the world. In the living objects means there is a mind, there is a Sukshma Sharira. In the Sukshma Shariram, the Chit is the Sakshi. Consciousness is the Sakshi for all the perceptions in the mind. Emotions, perceptions, thoughts, whatever happens in the mind, that Chit is the Sakshi. What is Chidabhasa? Chidabhasa is not everywhere, but it is only in the mind because it's a reflection. Like a reflection of my face, I can see it only in a mirror. So in the mind mirror, Chidabhasa is there. It is not outside the body. And in the living beings, it is it is appreciated as consciousness. Like, for example, you will say, I am conscious. I will say, I am conscious. What is the meaning of conscious? I am aware of the world. The difference between a sleeping mind and an enlightened mind is sleeping mind goes to Karana Shariram, enlightened mind goes to Brahman. That is the essence of this particular verse, number 35. Next, let's go to 36th verse. This is a long commentary. We'll see how it goes. Then we'll see what are the ways in which Shankaracharya explains this.
Ajam nidramasvapnam Ajam nidramasvapnam Anamakamarupakam Anamakamarupakam Sakrit vibhatam sarvagnyam Sakrit vibhatam sarvagnam Nopacharah kathanchana Nopacharah kathanchana.
So in the 35th verse, the essence of the verse was mind becomes Brahman. Right? That's what we studied in the 35th verse. When mind is an enlightened mind, it becomes Brahman. It merges with Brahman. In the 36, 37, and 38, Gaudapadacharya explains this concept of how mind becomes Brahman and how a jnani gets enlightened. Very beautiful section of in the entire Mandukya Upanishad. Very beautiful section. When you go through these verses in detail, you will understand the importance of this section for all jnanis. And for all seekers, this is a very, very important section. So let's just understand what is this. In the 36th Karika, Gaudapadacharya brings out a very important aspect of Brahman. What does he say? Ajam. Brahman is unborn, birthless. Anidram, sleepless. Aswapnam, dreamless. Anamakam, arupakam, without name and form. Sakrit vibhatam, ever effulgent. Sarvajnam, omniscient, all-knowing. In the seat of Brahman, there is no karma involved. No rituals are involved. No Brahman as a vastu. So you cannot do jnana karma samuchaya. You cannot have a combination of karma and jnanam when you come to the ultimate reality. This verse is a very packed verse. Any time where the description of the reality is given, it's a extremely important verse. There is a lot of knowledge in this verse. It goes very deep into the 7th mantra of the Upanishad, and it's an important karika. Now, in a jnani's vision, everything becomes Brahman. And what type of Brahman? Advaita Brahma. Advaitam Brahma means what? There is no second thing in consciousness. That is the ultimate reality. We have to understand that in our mind. And also, when we understand, we become that same Brahman. We become that same Turiya Atma. See, in the seventh mantra, we have used several words. Prapancha Upashamam we have done in the previous chapter, second chapter. We are in the third chapter. Here we are talking about Advaitam. This is also one of the words in the seventh mantra. Prapancha Upashamam means what? It is free from the Prapancha. We are now differentiating I, the Turiyam, from the world. It's an important section. You should know how to differentiate the world and Turiya. What does it say? Prapancha Upashamam. We say it is not the waking state. When we say it is not the waking state, what do we mean? We are not the waking state. Sthula Prapancha, gross world, is not me. Then we say Sukshma Prapancha is also not me. And then Karanish Prapancha is also not me. All these three put together is what? Prapancha Upashamam. Upashamam means resolution. All the three worlds have resolved. So Brahman is free from the three states. Mind has got three states. Turiya Atma does not have three states. In this particular verse, number 36, Gaudapadacharya uses three words. Ajam. Ajam means Jagrat Avastha Rahitam. Brahman or Turiyam doesn't have any waking state. Anidram means it doesn't have sleep state. Brahman or Turiyam doesn't have Swapna. Swapna Avastha Rahitam. We are talking about the absolute reality, the Paramarthika Satyam. It is Avastatraya Rahita Atma. That is why in Tattva Bodha we say Avastatraya Sakshi. Sakshi means the same Turiyat. So consciousness, when it is associated with the waking state of the mind, here pay attention to this. Consciousness, when it is associated with the waking state of the mind, is called Vishwa. I hope you have not forgotten Vishwa, Taijasa and Prajna. I have not used these three terms for a long time, which is there in the first 6 mantras of the Mandukya Upanishad. When the same Turiya Atma consciousness is associated with the dream state, it is called as Taijasa. Without consciousness, there is no waker. Without consciousness, there is no dreamer. Without consciousness, there is no sleeper. Sopadika Atma means the consciousness with Upadhi. Upadhi means the Karyam. You can either call it Karanam or Karyam. So when the Upadhi means medium. See, when the physical body is not there, the medium of transaction is not there. Consciousness is there. That is how we have to understand. Similarly, when the dream state is not there, consciousness is there. Sleep state is not there, consciousness is there. When the Upanishad says, na anta prajnam, you see, this is the actual mantra. Na anta prajnam, na bahish prajnam, no bhayata prajnam, na prajnanam, prajnana ghanam, na prajnam. All these are all words. But ultimately, ta prajnam stands for Taijasa, Bahish Prajnam stands for Vishwa. Prajna Dhanam stands for Prajna. So, Turiya Atma is described in 5 words in this Karika number 36. Ajam, Anidram, Aswapnam. Then comes Anamakam, Arupakam. Very important 5 words which we have to remember. Ajam means there is no physical body in Turiyam. Therefore, Turiyam is birthless. Na jayate va mriyate va kadachit. The 20th verse of the second chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Anidram. Anidram means no sleep. Why Turiyam doesn't have sleep? Because there's no mind in Turiyam. Similarly, Swapna also. Now, Turiyam doesn't have a name also, because anything with a name you can describe. That is why it is called as Anamakam. If there is no name, it cannot have a form, because every form is given a name. So it is Arupakam. In Dakshinamurti's 7th shloka, it says in all the avasthas, this Turiyam is always there. Whether you are in old age, whether the body is in young age, whether the mind is enlightened or not enlightened, Turiyam continues in all the conditions of the body and mind. Turiyam is like the screen. You cannot ignore the screen when you are watching the waking state. You cannot ignore the screen when you are watching the movie. But what do? When we watch the movie, we forget the screen. When we are active in the waking state, we forget that we are Turiya Atma, even though it is always there. Brahman awareness, Anubhava, is all the time there, but it is ignored because of our over obsession with the Jnana Indriyas, Karma Indriyas, and Antakaran. So, with these 3 instruments, we get lost in the world. But what is the reality? Aham Brahmasmi is the reality. What Gaudapadacharya says is, suppose in the Shravanam, you don't pick up this reality, the Vastu, then meditation is required. Now, this is the gist of the verse. Now we have to start the Shankara Bhashyam. Very beautiful Bhashyam for this section, and it makes, you see, when you go through this Bhashyam, the advantage, the benefit you get out of it is the Turiya Vastu becomes very clear to the intellect. See, even though there are so many paragraphs after paragraph Shankaracharya has written, the goal of Shankaracharya is for us, for our mind to travel in the direction of Turiya Atma. The cause of birth is Ajnanam. Now, Ajnanam belongs to the Prajna portion of the Jiva. Karma. Because of Ajnanam, we do karma. All the karmas are done in the waking state and dream state. Waking state belongs to Vishwa. Dream state belongs to Taijasa. All the 3 put together is called as Ahamkara. Vishwa plus Taijasa plus Prajna is Ahamkara. So every time when we wake up in the morning, we should acknowledge the I which is there It is reflection. It is only reflection of that consciousness. And along with the reflection, there is a mind in this body which together says, I am Vishwa. I am the waker. The waking and dream is Karyam. The Karanam is Prajna. The Sushupti Avastha is the ignorant state. According to Mandukya Upanishad, the Sushupti Avastha, which is the ignorant state, is the Karanam, and waking and dream are the products of that state, which is the sleep state. In this section and in this whole 4 5 verses, Mundaka Upanishad, this mantra is extremely important. Shankaracharya quotes this mantra in all the 3 or 4 mantras which we are going to study, which we are studying. Now, this Mundaka Upanishad says that Turiyam transcends the entire world. The, the gross body, subtle body, and the causal body. Turiyam transcends it. Now, Turiyam, when you say, we can say Turiyam is Karya Karana Adhishtanam substratum, or we can say Karya Karana Vilakshanam. These are the 2 ways in which Turiyam is expressed by Gaudapadacharya and Shankaracharya. When we say it is Vilakshanam, means it is transcendent. When we say it is Adhishtanam, it means it is immanent. Same thing, same vastu. Don't get confused between Vilakshanam and Adhishtanam. Now, why do we say Turiyam is birthless? Because ignorance belongs to what? It belongs to the jiva only with the help of mind. In Turiyam, there is no mind, there is no body. Therefore, there is no ignorance in Turiyam. Therefore, consciousness is knowledge, pure knowledge, without any ignorance. What is the product of avidya? Product means what is the karya? Rope snake is the karya. For rope, I don't know rope, therefore I think it is rope snake. I don't know that Turiya Atma, therefore I conclude I am the waker, dreamer, sleeper. See how beautiful this analysis is. Any normal, simple mind, when it goes through this study in this logical way, you will arrive at your own true self, which is Turiya Atma. So, how does a person negate ignorance? Atma Satya Anubhodena. Very important word which Shankaracharya uses in this commentary. By the knowledge of Satya Turiya Atma, you can negate, you can drop your ignorance about Atma. See, Veda is so powerful when it says this. Veda says that you don't know your real nature as Turiya Atma, therefore you think you are a Jiva. What is a Jiva? Jiva is nothing but a waker, dreamer, and sleeper. All 3 together, put together, is called as Jiva. The same Jiva is taught here in Mandukya and in all the Upanishads that it is not the Jiva with the mind and a body, but it is Atma, Turiya Atma. The sleep state, an Ajnani takes it as relaxation, rest. For him, others are awake. But for Jnani, what is the sleep state? In waking also, all are asleep to their Swarupa. So for a Jnani, he says all the jivas are Ajnanis. They are not aware of their Swarupa. So Upanishad like Kathopanishad says Uttishtatha, Jagratha. So Kathopanishad tells everybody to wake up. Even those people who are in the waking state, Kathopanishad says, wake up, wake up. Wake up to what? To your real spiritual nature. In Vedanta, sleep is called as self-ignorance. I don't know I am the Atma. That is what is called as sleep. I am sleeping to my Swarupa. In Mandukya Upanishad also, in the first chapter, it says very clearly, Anadi Mayaya Suptaha Yada Jive Prabudhyate. All the jivas are influenced by Maya Shakti, which is what is called as ignorance. Is avidya and Maya different or avidya and Maya same? For a junior student, we will say they are different. For a senior student, we will say it is the same. In Drishti Srishti Vada, we say avidya and Maya are one identical. Drishti Srishti means what? I see the world, therefore the world is there. Drishti Srishti. Drishti means seeing. Srishti means creation. Because I see there is a world. That is Drishti. In that what happens? Avidya and Maya are identical. In Bhagavad Gita, this particular portion is very beautifully described in this 69th verse. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashyato mune. All the beings are sleeping to their real nature. That is what is the essence of this Bhagavad Gita verse. Very beautiful verse. But here you should understand we are all sleeping because we are sleeping to our real nature, which is Atma. So Gaudapadacharya, this is a revision portion. I've already done this, so I won't spend much time in this particular area. Kaivalya Upanishad, this verse, Mayeva Sakalam Jatam, this is at the highest level we are talking. I alone am born as everything in the world. In me alone, the whole world exists. In me alone, the whole world resolves. This is from Turiyam Brahman, or you can also say from Ishvara's standpoint, which is Prajna Prapancha. So, mind becomes Brahman means it is understood as Brahman. Experience of mind will continue. Even after knowledge, Jnani does not experience a new body or a new world. Jnani also experiences the same world. But what has Jnani understood? That ahamkara, vishwa taijasa prajna is nothing but the same Brahman. But that Brahman is the ultimate reality in which there is nothing. You see, that is why there is Maya Tatamidam Sarvam Jagadabhyaktamurti Naha. The two mantras are so critical. The whole Upanishad is hidden in those two mantras of Bhagavad Gita. The same chain you perceive now as gold because your vision has changed to gold vision. The same world you perceive as Chaitanyam because your vision has changed to Chaitanya. Asti bhati priyam rupam. Nachet Amsha Panchaka. Asti Bhati and Priyam, they belong to Turiya Atma. In the world, there is Turiya Atma. Plus, there is Namarupa. Namarupa portion is the material portion, changing portion, Prakriti. The Asti Bhati Priyam is the Purusha portion. So in 35, mind is understood as Brahman. In 36 and 37, the description of Brahman as mentioned in the seventh mantra is restated. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya is the ultimate statement of Shankaracharya. How Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya is derived, comes out from this study of 36 and 37. In Mundaka Upanishad, there is also another beautiful verse that Brahman is the entire world. See, these verses are important for you to remember so that whenever you want to meditate on that reality, they become useful. So the world is mithya or the world is satyam. This is what can be a contradiction. See, a doubt can arise. Sometimes we say world is mithya. Sometimes we say world is nothing but Brahman. How do we resolve this contradiction? By saying at different contexts, they are called as either mithya or satya. When we say asti bhatirya, we say the world has got satyam component. When we say it is mithya, we are referring to the same word which is nama and rupa. Whenever we refer to the mithya component, we say it is mithya, world is mithya. When we refer to the asti bhati portion, we say world is satyam. So this portion I have discussed yasyeva swaranam sadatmakam asat kalpatagam bhasate. World has got easiness, world has got name and form. The easiness is the Brahman component, name and form is the Mithya component. So is Jiva Brahman or Mithya? That will be a doubt. When you look at a Jiva from the Sharira Trayam point of view, the Chid Abhasa point of view, we say it is Mithya. When we study it from the Satyam, the Chit point of view, we say Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha, which means Jiva is nothing but Brahman only. Both statements are okay. World is mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha, is both statements are being explained by Shankaracharya here. This is the statement Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha. This statement comes in the 20th verse of Brahma Jnanavalli Mala. We are doing the meditation on this text in the end of the class. So after some time, we will be doing meditation on this particular verse, very important verse, the central verse for Shankaracharya's Bhashyam study is this verse. So world is mithya, world is Brahman, both are correct. Now ajam. Let us try to understand the word ajam. In the word ajam comes. Ajam means birthless. Therefore, this Turiya Atma, because it is birthless, it is Sthula Sharira Yikshanam. Okay? Then Aswapnam. When we say Swapna, Swapna belongs to Sthula Shariram or Sukshma Shariram? Sukshma Shariram. Mind. And when we say Turiya Atma is Aswapnam, what does it mean? Actually, what it means, it is without any Sukshma Sharira. See how beautiful is the commentary by Gaudapadacharya. He uses fantastic words to convey to us the same meaning. And through these words, what do we understand? We reach Turiya Atma. Third word which he uses is anidram. Anidram means that Brahman, that Jnani doesn't have any sleep state at all. But then you will say, I see a Jnani sleeping. He doesn't have a sleep state, means he has woken up to the state of the spiritual state, which is Atma, in which there is no sleep state. So birth of the body is because of avidya, self-ignorance. And this self-ignorance is there for a very, very long time. That is why it is called as Maya. It is there for a very long time. Normal Nidra is called as Nidra. The self-ignorance is called as long sleep of Maya. We have been sleeping to our real nature. We don't know when. So many births we may have taken. That's what the Veda says. So in spite of so many births and deaths, we have successfully continued the self-ignorance. So we have to wake up from normal sleep. We have to wake up from Maya sleep. When we wake up from normal sleep, we claim, I am not a sleeper. I am not a dreamer, but I am awake. When we wake up from Maya sleep, what do we claim? I am Advaita Atma, non-dual Atma, in which there is no birth, there is no death, there is no swapna, there is no waking state, because that is its nature. It is self-evident consciousness, pure. And it is in this consciousness, the whole world of Vishwa, Taijasa, and Pratnya, they exist and they resolve. Awakening means I am neither a waker, dreamer, sleeper. I am not the Prathama Pada, Dvitiya Pada, or Tritiya Pada. I am Turiya Atma. That is the central teaching of Mandukya Upanishad itself. The seventh mantra of Mandukya is the central teaching. Two dreams are gone. When the Maya sleep is gone, two dreams are gone. What is the first dream? Our regular dream. What is the second dream? The second dream is the waking dream. So when both the dreams are gone, then only we say that the Turiya Atma is Aswapnam. Whatever we apply to Turiya Atma, we can apply to Jnani also. Because Jnani is standing on a different pedestal. He is standing on Turiya Atma. And we are all standing on Ajnanam, ignorance. This is the two levels. Jnani is at Paramarthika Satyam. Jivas are at the Vyavaharika Satyam. Anamakam Arupam. Brahman is without name, without form. Name and form are superimposed by avidya, maya on Atma. For example, in the waking state, we see so many names, we use so many names and for so many forms. But all these are what? They are superimposed on Turiya Atma. The entire Jiva Jagat Ishvara is nothing but it is name, form, and together name and form, is called as mithya. Maya Panchakam, it's a description of 5 verses of Maya Shakti, and in the very first verse, it tells us Maya can accomplish anything in the world. A ghatita katana, whatever is not possible is possible in Maya. That is why we say that our experiences, I don't know what the future is, because future is uncontrollable, unsustainable, unpredictable. Think about it. Is your future controllable? No. Can I continue the present in the future? Cannot. It cannot be sustained. It is not sustainable. And completely unpredictable. Things happen to me which I never thought will happen. When I was 10 years old, I wanted to be an engineer or something, but I became a doctor. See, these things happen. Maya projects 3 types of Namarupa. This is very, very high level of teaching. Maya Shakti, which is a component of Brahman. Brahman can live without Maya Shakti. It can live with Maya Shakti. That is why we say it is non-dual. What is the Maya Shakti? All the jivas are Maya Shakti. The entire Jagat is Maya Shakti. And Ishvara also is Maya Shakti. So when we describe Maya as Jiva Jagat Ishvara, it is called as triangular format. So wake up from the Nidra, wake up from Maya dream. Waking up from Maya dream is called as self-realization. When you have woken up, it is called as spiritual awakening from waking state. And how do you wake up? By falsifying the world. You cannot hold on to the world. You cannot say that the world is also there and I, the Turiya Atma, is also there. Nacha matani bhutani. The world is not in me. I alone can exist. Therefore, this is called as Nitya Muktaha. By the study of scriptures, I understand Turiya Atma is ever there and it is free from the world. After knowing Turiya Atma, what will you say? Will you be attached to the 500 rupee fake note? No. The entire world is a false projection of Maya Shakti for the jivas to exhaust their punyam and papa. A jnani, when he has climbed to the higher pedestal, he will say, Neha nanasti kinchana. Kathopanishad, 2nd chapter. We have done Kathop before coming to Mandukya. In Mundak Upanishad, I have again is the same verse which has been quoted before also. So the Rajju Sarpa, the rope snake is what? Waker, dreamer, sleeper. What is the rope? Rope is the Turiya Atma. And that is called as, Turiya Atma is called as Amatraha. Amatraha means what? There is no waking, dream, sleep. A-U-Ma. A stands for waking. U stands for dream. Ma stands for sleep. When you don't have any matras, it is silence. That silence is Turiya. So Anamakam means nameless. Arupakam means attributeless or formless Brahman. Shankaracharya reminds us of Taittiriya Upanishad, 2nd chapter, 4th mantra, Yatovacho Nivartante. This same mantra appears in 2nd time in Taittiriya itself, in the 2nd chapter, 9th section. the fourth section and ninth section, because it is an important mantra, they repeat it in Taittiriya Upanishad. Yatho vacho nivartante means what? The words cannot describe that state because there is nothing. It is attributeless to Atma. So Turiyam doesn't have Grahanam, Agrahanam, or Anyata Grahanam. This is used by Gaudapadacharya in the first chapter. There is no non-apprehension, non-perception. Because of non-perception, you cannot say there is apprehension or non-apprehension. Because the world is not there. So Brahman is free from agrahana, that means non-perception, and erroneous perception. Once you know Turiya Atma, there is no error in your intellect. Completely, all the errors which you can possibly have in the world, I am born, is gone. I am maker is gone. So then what error will be there? Nothing. Again, a summary of the four padas. The first pada and the second pada, Vishwa and Taijasa, are associated with Agrahanam and Anyata Agrahanam. I am Karta. I am a doer of action. I am an enjoyer of action. I am rich. I am poor. These are all adhyasa. They are all errors according to the higher state of Turiya. In sleep state, I don't have error. Why? Because there's no projection of the mind. When the projection of the mind is there, I can think there is a rope snake, there is a pipe, there is some other thing. No, my mind is so fertile, it can think that I am so and so, I am so and so, I am so and so throughout our life. But actually, what the Upanishad is teaching, all those are all projections of the mind. Drop your projections and then realize who you are. You will say, I am Turiya Atma, free from Agrahanam and Anyatha Grahanam. Agrahana means I don't see, I don't know the world, I don't know myself. Anyata Grahana means I am thinking I am a waker, dreamer, sleeper. So, from Vyavaharika Drishti, we say experientially world is there. Paramatika Drishti, there is no world. Tirobhava means concealment of Atma, Turiya Drishtya. From the Turiya Drishti, world is covered. World is not there. See, we are studying the seventh mantra in very, very big detail in this 36th Karika. Prajna is Agrahanam, Vishwa and Taijasa is Ajnanam and Anyata Agrahanam. Turiyam is nothing is there, pure Atma alone is there. Okay, this is just an imagery of Grahanam and Agrahanam. I will skip that portion. So, Ajnanam, Ajnani will say, I don't know Atma. What will then, for a Jnani, Anatma is itself not there. It is, I am, Atma is the only truth for him. From Jnani's point of view, Brahman is revealed all the time. World is just a name and form, it just comes and goes. That's what I keep telling, that don't worry about your experiences. Realize the truth that I am Atma, then the worldly experiences, they lose their importance. Chaitanyam reveals the ignorance in Sushupti and knowledge in Jagrat. When we say knowledge, it is vritti jnana. Ignorance is also vritti jnana. But what is turiya jnanam? Turiya jnanam is swarupa jnana. Okay, the next slide is the revision portion. Okay. Mundaka Upanishad, I have already discussed before. Ajam, Aswapnam, Anidram, Anamakam, Arupakam. Anamakam and Arupakam together is called as Prapancha Upashamam. Ajam is called as Na Bahish Pragyam in the seventh mantra. Aswapnam is called as Na Anta Pragyam. There is no knowledge of the dream world, no knowledge of the waking world, no knowledge of ignorance in the sleep state. Na pragyana ghanam. Anidram stands for na pragyana ghanam. You see, this verse by Gaudapadacharya, by using ajam, aswapnam, anidram, he conveys the same na pragyam, na antapragyam, na pragyana ghanam in a very beautiful way. Anamakam, arupakam, very, very beautiful commentary of Gaudapadacharya, and of course, equally brilliant commentary of Shankaracharya for this verse. It takes a lot of time to understand this verse clearly. If you understand this Karika 36 clearly, you have understood the whole Vedanta. You don't need any other verse. But Gaudapadacharya is commenting another 150 verses, 120 verses, he will comment. But this verse is very, very important, and it takes us directly to the understanding of our Turiya Atma status. So, mind becomes Brahman is explained in 36, 37, 38. And 36, 37, 38 is a description of seventh mantra of the Upanishad. There is no condition for the state of consciousness. It is always the same. In consciousness, there is no waking, dream, sleep condition. These three conditions belong to the mind of a jiva. The jiva drops his mind and says, I am Brahman. Atma is partially concealed and partially revealed. Why do we say this? Why is it partially revealed? All of us, we are Sat and Chit all the time. Sat and Chit is not covered. It is always revealed. So, the rope snake, the rope is partially covered, partially concealed. Something is there. So, similarly, in the case of Atma also, I am Sat Chit is ever evident consciousness, ever existent Satyam. That portion is not covered, is always revealed. Now, what is concealed? Concealed is I am Ananda Swarupa. Instead of Ananda Swarupa, I project in my mind I am Samsari. I am born. Samsari means what? Born and gone. And I am experiencing sorrow in life. Same problem for Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita in the first chapter. I don't know. I am suffering. There is a battle going on. There are so many people getting killed. Ahamkara, Mamakara was very strong. So those are all belonging to the concealment portion of Atma. Therefore, what do we say? Vritti Vyapti is required for Atma. Vritti Vyapti means what? I need to generate a vritti, aham Brahma Asmi. The moment you generate the vritti, there is no phala vyapti because Atma is self-revealing. It is of the nature of consciousness. See, Shankaracharya writes a very, very big commentary on this 36th mantra. Whenever there is an important verse of the Karika, he writes a long, long, long commentary. Sarvajnam. This is said in the 36th Karika, in the second. Sarvajnam means what? Sarvam janati iti sarvajnaha. That is the popular meaning. One who knows everything, which is Saguna Ishvara. That is from the Vyavaharika Drishti. But when you say Sarvajnaha, Sarvasya Sarvam Janati, Brahman is Sarvam. Brahman is Nyayaha. At a Paramartika Drishti, Brahman is Sarvam. It is everything. This is just something which Shankaracharya explains in this paragraph. So, from Vyavaharika Drishti and Paramartika Drishti, we should know Brahman appears as a creation, appears as me, the subject, and I am experiencing the world. It is so all of us can claim Aham Brahmasmi because that happens to be our pure nature. The same pure nature, that is why it is called as non-dual, Advaitam. The pure Turiyam is in the form of everything. Therefore, it is Sarvajna. Brahman knows everything is one interpretation. Brahman is everything is the second interpretation of Sarvajna. Okay, that is this portion which Shankaracharya explains in this particular paragraph. Okay, then for see the view of Veda is if you know, if you can understand Brahman, then you don't need meditation because there is nothing to do. If in Brahman there is no action, so meditation is not required for those people who understand this very clearly. But those who cannot claim easily by meditation, so meditation is for junior seeker. Senior seeker, there is no meditation required because they have understood. From verse number 40, we are in 36 now. Gaudapada himself will discuss meditation. From verse 40 onwards till I don't know till the end of the 48, I think. So he discusses this meditation. After Jnanam, moksha is a swarupam. Before Jnanam, moksha is a goal. What do we say? Ultimately, consciousness is birthless, sleepless, dreamless. If that is the nature, then what is the question of meditation? Because meditation is not there in Brahman. Kathanchana, at any time. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Naiva tasya kritenartaha na kriteneha kaschana. There is for a jnani, there is nothing to be done in the world. He doesn't depend on any object in the world because avidya is removed. Okay, so that is what is the 36th Karika. So we have managed to finish the 36th Karika today. Important Karika, and the next Karika is 37th Karika, which what we have not discussed so far in the 36th Karika is Namakam. Two words we have not analyzed. Those two words are analyzed in the 37th Karika. What are the two words? Anamakam, Arupakam. For elaborating on this Anamakam and Arupakam, Gaudapada writes the 37th Karika. Okay, next week we will start the 37th Karika so that you will be able to understand the full verse properly. Again, 37th verse is a long commentary. 37, 38, we'll get into the 37th 37th verse. 1 minute, let me see. Okay, I'll give you a gist of it in 5 minutes so that you know what we are going to discuss next week. First, let's play the 37th verse.
सर्वाभिलापविगतः सर्वाभिलापविगतः सर्वचिन्तासमुत्थितः सर्वचिन्तासमुत्थितः सुप्रशान्तः सकृज्योतिः सुप्रशान्तः सकृज्योतिः समाधिरचलोभयः समाधिरचलोभयः.
See, Gaudapadacharya packs a lot of meaning in his Karika. The first thing he says here is this avastha is attained only by concentrated intellect. Suppose your intellect is completely agitated, you will never know Atma. Your intellect, your mind has to become calm. In a calm mind, you hear these words of Upanishads. Then that mind which is calm can go in the direction of Atma. Here he says Atma is all peace. Number one, it is ever effulgent. It is free from activities and it is free from fear. Four things. Shanti, which is there in the 7th mantra of the Upanishad. Chaitanya Swarupa, which is the nature of Atma. Avyavaharyam, free from activity. Again the 7th mantra. And Abhayam, free from fear. All this are known through Samadhi. Samadhi means what? A concentrated mind, which is changeless, which is fearless. Mind itself becomes of the nature of Atma. As you keep understanding the Atma, as you keep meditating on Atma, your mind will become Atma. Jnana Indriyas, Karma Indriyas, and Antakaranam, these are three instruments which make me a pramata. Pramata means a knower of the world. I know the world. When I say I know the world, what does it mean? I am using the indriyams, jnana indriyams. When the pramata and when the pramanam, the instruments are not working as in the sleep state, the prameyam, the objects of the world are falsified or resolved. What is left behind is called as prapancha upashamam or turiyam. Okay, we'll start. This is the gist of the mantra. Next week, we will start the bhashyam. These are all very, very important sections for those seekers who are really interested to know the Veda at a highest level. There are no portions which I have seen which can go to such heights of the mind. The verses 37, 38 we are going to do in the next few weeks are the height of the mind. The mind, where can it go? Ultimately, where does it reach? Is what is being described. Okay, so we'll stop here and start with the 598 topic next week. Oh, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamathaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. There are no questions today in the chat box. If you have a question, please raise your hand. And Shanmugam has unmuted all of you, so you can speak up. Thank you. They say somebody said is a good meditation. Again and again in your meditation. See, these meditations will help you to know how to meditate in your own way. Ajam, anidram, aswapnam, anamakam, arupakam. 5 words can take you directly to Atma. See, that is the beauty of this Vedantic meditation. Vedantic meditation is not for relaxation. Vedantic meditation is to progress in the spiritual study. It's an amazing way. Shankaracharya teaches us again and again how to meditate, how to realize our true nature. See, we are always living in the world as a waker, dreamer, sleeper. That is our normal way. But here we are going to, in the next two weeks or so, you are going to come into something totally new. See, Shankaracharya in these verses is preparing for the next 2 verses. These are all very graded verses. See, the way Gaudapadacharya and Shankaracharya they are building up is to take us to the height of Vedanta, which says that Turiyam alone is there. And to reach that state, all these preparations is going on. Yeah, Nandu, you are talking about something. Can you explain what you're saying? Second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yes.
Hari Om sir. It's beautiful like a Karika as well as the mantra from the Brahmadhyanavali. And it is talking about what we have like is second chapter, Ajo, Nityo, Shashvato, Purano. So that Ajo and Nitya word is coming in the Brahmadhyanavali mantra on the first thing. And it's beautifully like Aved, which is like maybe as per my understanding, which is talking about like Nainam Chandanti Shasrani. So it's like very beautiful combination of both like Karika as well as today's
Yes.
meditation. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Nandu. Anybody else has any other remark for today's session or any other doubts, questions?
Harivam
See,
Shekhar ji.
yeah, go ahead, Krishna.
It is so wonderful. First of all, thank you. The very seventh mantra of Mandukya Upanishad has been really the culmination of this Jiva and Brahma. And actually, it is not a culmination, it is praptasya prapta, as it takes us that the shift in the consciousness. And you have very beautifully put it into the words which cannot be indicated by the words. That is so beautiful that the shloka itself has been a wonderful meditation. It says that one that all is avastha traya, Akshi, which is the turiya, is the one that the very abhimani in each of these avasthas, which is the ego, part of the ego, how the detachment from that in the contemplation, that one abides in what one is, has been really by Gaudapada Acharya. It has been so wonderfully given. And you made it with the similes or with the examples of Drigdrisya Viveka also, that Asti Bhati Priyam is the what is, or what is the reality, and Nama Rupa are just the appearance, and shifting the very attachment from the Nama Rupa to that Adhisthana Brahma is the understanding. It is Gnana Swarupa, as you have indicated there. It is Swarupa Gnana, you have indicated. It is Gnana Swarupa itself. That means by shifting this, or by having this Swarupa Gnana, one be the Gnana Swarupa, which has been the Brahmananda Valis, Paramananda Rupoham, Ahameva, Ahamavyaha. So beautiful, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishna. You have summarized the entire talk today in just about 2-3 minutes. Amazing summary, and uh, it's really, see, when we study this Bhashyam, it connects us to so many texts. Like Nandu pointed out, chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam Puranaha. Then you're talking about Drigdrishya Viveka. Then you're talking about Brahma Jnanavalli. Then you're talking about Ajam Nityam. You see, so all these are pointing to the central teaching, and the central teaching is Turiya. See, when we study Bhashyam, all these things get connected, and the mind gets the extra power. Normally, we don't get this power, but when we study these mantras, the mind gets that extra power to leap into that unknown territory which the mind can never go on its own. It takes the help of the Shastric words like Ajam, uh, Aswapnam, Nidram, and these are the words. So, with the help of these words, the mind, together with the help of these words, they help us to transcend to another level, which is amazing. There is nothing which can substitute the study of Bhashyam. Good. Thank you. Anybody else has any other comments on today's session?
Namaste, Shakashi. It's Bharat
Yeah,
here.
Bharat. Yeah, tell me.
So, Shakaji, every Mandukya class I say that class was the best one ever. But today's session, like I was really looking forward to this verse 35, 36, and it was absolutely sublime. I think this your explanation of Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahma Anapara, absolutely beautiful. I just wanted to comment this, what you wrote about mind becomes Brahman. I just wanted to comment is just like the wave recognizing there's nothing but the water all along.
Yes.
It was always the water, so ultimately there was never a becoming at all. It's just that in its own ignorance, the wave thought it was water, but with the removal of that ignorance, it is the water. So it's just a question of removing that ignorance, which is what Vedanta is trying to do. Reveal what is always there.
Sure. Good. Good. Bharat, thank you. Again, a wonderful comment on what we have studied today. And wave realizing I am water. Jiva realizing I am Brahman. I am Brahman means there is nothing else apart from pure Satchidananda Swarupam. That's all. See, it is the same truth we are studying again and again. But when we study it like this, what happens is our mind, through the study, it repeats itself, saying that there is something. It is not the mind. The change which we are embarking on is abhimana tyagaha. That means I identify with the body today. I identified with the mind today. Now I have to disidentify with the body and mind, and then I have to move towards drop this abhimana, jiva bhava abhimana to brahma bhava abhimana. And that is the exercise we are doing when we study these karikas.
I think
It's
Shakaji, one aspect of especially Western philosophy is that in Western philosophy, consciousness, awareness, the topic of existence, and the topic of understanding values, like the value-based systems, they're treated separately. They're separate topics. And actually, it's only Vedanta which is pointing out the obvious, that you can't actually separate um, truth, knowledge, and this endless bliss aspect, this Satchitananda as Atma, and the Taittiriya Upanishad definition of Brahman as Satyam Jnanam Anantam. These two definitions are actually much more natural, hence showing the identity between Jiva and Ishvara through that one reality, much more so than what happens in Western philosophy, because in Western philosophy, they're starting off on a slightly different understanding that consciousness and existence are separate. They start with that, whereas in Vedanta, you treat all of that as one. Existence, consciousness, bliss. They're all in. I believe the word in Taittiriya Upanishad is they're in apposition. They're always together. One supports each other. They're together, and then hence that makes this understanding of like what you're experiencing. The content of that can only be that reality.
correct. That's right. You see, the Vedanta doesn't. That's why Advaitam is the central
Yeah.
teaching of Vedanta.
Yeah.
You don't drop anything. You see, everything is included in Advaita because without this Atma, there is nothing. And the Western philosophies are lost because they don't believe in the Veda. They they have their own philosophy depending on uh, the perceptual knowledge which they depend on. You see, the Western philosophers, they depend on perceptions much more than on Veda. Whereas people who are studying the Veda, they give primary importance to Veda and find out what is the Veda revealing. I'm not concerned about what my mind is projecting. So philosophy, which looks at the world, and then the philosophy which looks at Veda. They're, they're two different ways. That's why they cannot uh, ultimately result in moksha. That that is what we should understand when we are looking at all other philosophies. Good. Thank you, Bharat.
Thank you,
That's
Shekhar.
another good perspective you have brought about. Anything else? Okay. Thank you. We will stop here then, and we'll continue next week with our. Okay, there's a question here which says, how do I apply in day-to-day life? Okay, good. The knowledge which we get about Atma. I am Atma. Okay, you don't understand Atma is fine, but telling yourself I'm not, I am something which is different than what I'm thinking today. How do I apply this Turiya Atma to my day-to-day life? Normally, what do we do? You start the day as I am the body, I have to do this work, that work, and so on. And then, as long as the life is going on well, you are enjoying life. You don't need the truth of Atma because you are enjoying life. You feel, I have the money, I am enjoying whatever I can buy, I have good relationships, and so on. In life, what happens is life is not all the time joyful. Some sorrow always comes in. When sorrow comes in, you need to fall back on some knowledge. And Atma Vidya is the best knowledge to fall upon. If you can get this knowledge along with your, in whatever lifestyle you have, it will help you, especially when we start the Bhagavad Gita. I hope I can start sometime. You will see how Bhagavad Gita can be used in day to day also. The same thing in Upanishadic literature. What see, this topic of how I can use this knowledge in our day to day life is a very huge topic. But what I want to tell you is that whenever you are in sorrow, whenever your mind is sorrowful, at that time tell yourself, I am the Atma. Keep attending the sessions, keep attending, listen to the scriptures. No need to do anything else. Just keep listening. Whatever you can pick up, you pick up. And then you see the difference in lifestyle as you take the challenges of life. Challenges will come. At that time, apply this knowledge. When the life is beautiful, it's enjoying, joyful, this Atma Vidya may not make so much sense to you. But when the life becomes, when you get into difficulties in relationships, difficulties in challenges which comes to your life in different forms it comes. At that time, this knowledge is very, very useful. Nipa, you have something else to ask in this? Are you there?
Yes, yeah, Shekharji. So there are instances where there is that gap, but there are instances where it is lost completely, especially when you said in the daily activities of interactions, and then I'm caught off guarded. By the time I go back to that, or that it's that instance is lost, and then I go back into that field of, oh, what have I learned? What am I doing?
Okay. So basically, see, any knowledge is a practice. You need to practice, you need to apply the knowledge in small, small doses every day.
Yes.
It's a practice. Like, for example, how to learn swimming? It's a practice. How to learn cooking? It's a practice. You keep on doing little by little every day, and then you will become a master at it. So similarly, you go with the hope that little by little, let me just gather the knowledge. Don't give up on the knowledge. Don't have negative emotions with reference to gathering the knowledge. Little by little. You see, go step by step. Don't expect big changes in life all of a sudden. It will not happen.
Yeah, I'm never giving up. It's just that some instances like that, it pulls me back, saying that, or it takes in a guilt trip. What am I doing? What did I, why it didn't come when I needed, in that instance, when I've understood it, when I know it, and when I've experienced maybe momentarily why it is lost in that time when it is needed the most. So it's kind of ego again, which is telling me that, see, you didn't perform. See, you didn't perform.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up because this study have you done Bhagavad Gita study before, Nipa?
No, I'm doing I'm doing with other classes, and I'm trying to listen, and um, I I'm I'm a like when I heard Adi Shankaracharya's Nirvana Shatakam, I knew like it connects me right there to one of these, even the Ajam Nirvikalpa Nirakara Rupam for Ganpati or anything. I feel I know it. It's here. It's here right now and right this moment. But then I'm trying to keep it, hold on to it. I know, with not with the mind and the body, but to go back again and again to that. But there are instances where it is lost in a jiffy, and then that hurts me. Like, what did I
Okay.
do?
No. That is an experience for all of us. See, what you're saying is an experience of not only you, Nipa, it is an experience for all of us. If you ask any other seeker who is attending these sessions, they are also equally facing exactly the same type of experiences which you are experiencing. It is Our life is a mixture. There is no denial of that. So definitely our mind, see what happens is mind is Maya. And Maya brings in a lot of changes, sorrows, difficulties, challenges it brings to us. So the knowledge, in order to fructify into a benefit,
Yeah.
it takes time. As you keep listening more and more, what will happen is the impact of the challenges which you face, your guilt feelings and so on, will come down. Definitely, it will come down. I mean, from what I hear a little bit from you, you are a perfect student for spiritual study. I've handled so many cases exactly with your mindset. I can tell you for sure that you will benefit a lot from this spiritual study, especially Bhagavad Gita study. It will change you. It will help you to accept life and accept the challenges, and you will definitely grow a lot once you do. I'm glad you're doing that. Very good.
Harivam
Uh,
Shekharji, with your permission, can I add a little?
yeah, go ahead, Krishna.
Thank you, sir. Nipaji's question is very practical, and so many times, as you said, that we encounter the similar situation, and that is the way that we have been brought up also. If we learn something, how to use it, how to practice it. And this is the Adhyatma Vidya that the very, as Thekkerji was telling repeatedly, that you come to the session and listen, that is sufficient, is an indication that there is a transformation that is happening right now. And Nipaji's question is that why can't I carry it every moment in my practical life every day? There is a contradiction there itself. What I am understanding here is that I am not the one that what I am thinking right now I am. In this very session, Mandukya Upanishad, we have seen that transition of consciousness. But as I take up the roles every day in the Vyavahara, when I meet the world, it is naturally that I will get attached to those roles and then start losing my understanding that which needed to support me. So
Yes.
Shekharji has told wonderfully that it acts as a shock absorber in the beginning, as the up and downs of the life as we go through every day. This knowledge will be first like a shock absorber, even afterwards. Shock absorber is something like even after the speed breaker, you can feel that up and down a little, but reduced. The same way, coming to our natural state will be a quicker one. As you said, you felt that one, why this knowledge hasn't come to my rescue at that moment, but it came afterwards. That means it is alerting and making us awake or to shift the consciousness in this particular space that right now in the Sravana Manana Nididhyasana, that transformation has been happening. And holding up in day to day is the very abiding into that one. That's what Shekharji has been indicating, that one, to abide into that one, to have that phala vyapti. It will take time to assimilate that one because we do have these vasanas. I am this
Yes.
body, I am this role, and all these attachments. So we do get into these up and downs, that is natural. But it acts as a shock absorber for the time being, but at the same time, as we reflect upon that, Shekharji pointed out wonderfully that you are thinking in that direction. So the possibility of shifting the consciousness is more easy for the people that who are inwardly thinking, and the direction of thinking is in the indication, the lakshartha of Shastra Vakyas. Hari Om.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you.
Nipa, where are you based? Are
I'm
you
in
based?
Arizona. I'm in Arizona, USA.
Oh, you're in Arizona, USA. That's good. Now, I was talking to Krishna last week about over 150, almost 150 people have written to me about getting a mentor for studying the scriptures. I have requested Krishna. I have sent him a list of people who have asked for this type of mentorship, and I'm trying to see who else can help in being a mentor for new seekers, who want to get to the knowledge, who have not had the opportunity. So if you're interested, Krishna is situated in Virginia.
Okay.
If you are interested, you can contact him. Krishna can You can contact Krishna. uh, I can
Sure.
send you Krishna's number and email address. You can be in touch with him. He can probably guide you a little bit more.
Sure, definitely. I would do that.
Good. Thank you, Nipa. Shama, you wanted to add something? You have written quite a lot.
Secretary, I was just reminded again in response to Nipa's question. This was about Swami Vivekananda's teaching, which he says we're always moving from truth to truth. There is a spiritual progress. There's a journey of moving from lower truth to higher truths rather than from error to truth. So the very fact that Nipa is here with us today, she is already in the light of awareness, isn't it? Otherwise, how would she be here? So I almost feel sometimes not that we are seeking the truth, but the truth itself is seeking us. I don't know. It's probably
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
I don't know, because however much you resist, people like me with my kind of science ego or whatever, I have resisted it. I have really resisted, fought it, of all the spiritual gnanam or whatever. But it was part of my prarabdha or my purva janma samskaras that I have finally surrendered, and I feel, no, this is really the truth. This is the marga. So I feel very happy Nipa is here, and I would most like to welcome and basically to say not to really be too concerned, just to sort of see as these thoughts and experiences as a kind of just simply the wave in the water oceans. You may have big tsunamis, small waves, big waves, and it just got to be there as a part of our prarabdha, and we shouldn't really allow us to engulf it. I've been there, and so this is
Yes.
the only reason why I'm saying. And women particularly, I think we get much more attached to our role.
Yeah.
I'm retired, and I'm doing a very interesting reading, and it's called Conscious Aging. So it's really like from my role to the soul, So this is where I'm shifting, I have lived all my life in various roles. Now I have the opportunity to shift into a soul, so
Yes.
it's really that awareness. But it's very beautiful. I really love the way you have actually have the courage to speak about where you are. And
It's
yeah,
just
no,
that I don't want this body to end before this
no,
final step happens. And then I have a role, I have a responsibility, and then I'm thinking I'm lacking there. I'm not doing justice. Nobody's saying anything to me, but
I
who
know, I know. I can relate to you 100%, 100%, honestly. And that's why I just was inspired to speak in this
so
forum.
when I had that first moment, then I said, let everything come, and then I'll be ready to to accept it and then go beyond. But when it is coming now, I'm scared. Oh my
No.
God.
No, it's so
So
I'm just so happy you are here. So
thank
yes.
you.
Shekhar ji, Venkatesh here. Can I just add?
Yeah, Venkatesh, come.
It's Samaji is making me speak
I know
actually.
Venkatesh has been following me. I can't.
Yeah,
He's so
No,
funny,
I just
amazing.
want to add something very simple actually, because I have been listening to these lectures for years and years, and I mean everything is infinite. And no, I just want to add something very specific to what Deepaji and all saying. See, like I just want to give a specific example. See, when there is water, when it boils, to change a phase, to convert from water, liquid phase to vapor, it takes time. So till the boiling happens. Suddenly, when it attains that 100 degrees centigrade, then the change of phase takes place. So the very question when it comes about the spirituality, who am I, or whatever the Shrutis and all, when we just listen and all, the transformation it takes place. But in the same phase, we will not be knowing that. So the change is taking place when it comes closer to that 100 degrees centigrade. The phase it goes so rapidly, then it gets really very surprising. So it requires a little bit of patience and like what we are saying, like we are studying from triangular format to biformat and then to the singular format. The one important thing during the spiritual studies, what I just realized is it is mind which is an interface between this external world and the Brahman. So it is a mind which makes us realize this whole world, and it is a mind which can take us towards that Brahman. So this is one important interface. So it takes time actually. So it's a very
Yes.
gradual process and all, and we have to understand that this world does not exist without this mind. It's mind only which is making the vritti, vyapti, and all this, whatever is happening, is because of the mind. When the mind is not there, this world is not there. So both mind and world, both are interdependent on each other. So
Yes.
without mind, the world is not there. Without world, we do not feel
There's
any
no
mind
mind to
actually.
perceive it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the sleep state, there is no mind, so there is no world. In the waking state, mind is there, the world is there actually. So anything which depends on each other, so they are mithya. They're
Yes.
depending on each other. Everything is mithya. So this is what is said that ekameva advitiyam, infinite.
Yes.
Anything which is other than infinite, it is something like dualistic. So Brahman is
Yes.
infinite. So nothing else exists. Everything is pervaded within the Brahman. So I could see in this particular Karikas and all, which is emphasized on the isness principle. Everything is pervaded by that mind, that consciousness. So
Yes.
once we have that in our mind, actually, so eventually we travel towards the transformation. It happens. We do not even know whether transformation happens or not, but over a span of time, we will get the clear understanding of what's happening and all this actually. So
Yes.
Thank you,
yeah,
Venkatesh. I think,
thank you.
thank you. I think you brought up a very brilliant point. It explains what Shama is also saying. Nipa, you have got Shama's number on the chat box. Krishna can probably also contact you, or if you want to contact Krishna, you can write to me, or Krishna can put in the
Sure.
chat box.
I
Yeah.
would be more in a supportive this thing, not from the Gnanam
Yeah,
section
yeah.
part
No,
of
no, no,
it,
no problem. It's
definitely,
okay.
but because that I wouldn't at all go there. But just as a woman and as a
Yeah,
support, because I've been myself going through it, so it's quite nice sometimes to just have a chat.
yeah. Thank
This
you, thank
this
you.
is a because this is a journey for it's there are not too many around who will be joining this journey in the family or in the known field or in the friends. So this
Yeah,
is a journey alone for in that sense, So
thank
No, in
you,
this
thank you, Nipa.
forum, we are quite a few of us. In this forum,
Yeah,
we are quite a few,
yeah.
yeah.
definitely.
Vijaya, you wanted to say something. You have mentioned something in the chat box.
Just Shri no, Shrikaj, I was just hearing to Nipa's question. I think if we all were in the same boat, as Shama rightly said. So it takes time. That's what they say. Dirgha kalaha nairantarya satkara. That it's like the transition is not. It happens, and then you would not even know that slowly you're changing from within to out. It's that persistence that one needs to have in this. Only thing is, when your understanding is right, when you're very when you have clarity of thought, I think it helps a lot. So whomever
Yes.
you would like to reach out to you, and then take them into confidence as to what are your core questions. I think they should be able to help you. So most of the sadhakas from this group are, it's not how much of Vedanta I know, it's how much I'm able to internalize even a small bit of it, that has helped in changing myself on the perspective of a day to day. That's what I think your question is all about. How do I walk the path? Not
Yes,
learn, just
exactly. I
learn
don't
about
know
it.
how much time I have to know the whole thing. I wish I had known.
No,
I
yeah.
came to know just 4 years ago,
They
and I'm not
they
that
they
young.
say,
But this
say
is it. Just
no,
that
no.
this this
They say that
fascinates me. It opened my eyes, and I'm glad that I found it in this lifetime.
no. They say that it's kara amalavat. It is as good as having an gooseberry. I mean the berry
Yeah.
or a apple in your hand and then eat it. but it's just that preparation, it takes time. But when you're ready, which is what? I mean, that readiness comes with maturity. I'm sure when you really are the mukshatvam, right? I mean, when you're really, really keen, I think as Shama said, right? So sometimes we all say that we need to go and find Guru, we need to go and find things around. No, but actually when you're ready, the knowledge comes to you, the Guru comes to you. And then you have come to the right place because it's your time. Now that the time is right, I think you're ready for it. So time. I think the whole thing we've learned in this is time is very, very relative. It's not how many hours or how many minutes you have. It's the space of it's an expanse of the mind. When you're ready, the time doesn't have any impact on absorbing the knowledge. I mean, that's what I wanted to add. So please do reach out. Yeah.
Okay, Nipa. Thank you, Vijay. I think there's a lot of help coming out. Krishna has also put his number there, Nipa. Anytime you can reach him. Anytime anybody else who in the group, Krishna has agreed with the time permitting, he can help to be a mentor for anybody who is interested to seek how should I go about in the spiritual path, what should I study first, all those things. If you have questions apart from what we have in the Q&A, Krishna has agreed to be a mentor for newcomers.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much, and we'll continue next week with Mandukya. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank
Hari
you.
Om.
Namaste.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shekharji.
Shekharji. Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank
Hari
you.
Om.